We're going to have an extended Q&A session now with 3 absolute lean legends. I'm not even going to waste any time on any introductions. I'm going to ask one question, and I'm usually the question guy. So I'm asking one question, and you guys are going to answer all the other ones. First question, guys. What's your one thing? What's the one thing you're walking away from this incredible 2-day experience with?
It's actually easy for me. I caught this at one of the breaks from Paul Vallely, and I always think that some of the best stuff comes in the cracks. So we've had amazing content from the stages and in the breakout sessions. My favorite part is always about meeting everybody, connecting. And I've actually Paul Vallely to thank for the level of happiness is determined by your most unhappy child, which really hit hard for me in a good way, because I've got happy kids these days. One of them's here. Can I just take this opportunity? Tierney, where are you?
Oh, yeah.
That's my eldest. He works with Gemba docs. I'm very proud of him. And that was one. And I need to tell the other one. It was with the MaxCare guys. And we were talking about software development just over the coffee. The guys are just amazing people. And they were giving me tips on software development. Sagar, it's going to blow your mind. And that happened outside the speaking. Those were mine.
Yep, thank you. I'm actually excited about what's going to happen after this event, because if you think back 11 years ago, me scrolling through YouTube, not having a clue how to run our factory, to this, it's just absolutely incredible. And the people that I've met and we've met over the last couple of days, those connections will live forever. Like, I was chatting to these guys from Germany, and they want to make Germany the next Ireland. Brian wants to make the Midwest the next Ireland. Jane, where's Jane from Kimpton Fitzroy? Jane has a goal to be the global lean expert in hotels. She's going to change the whole hotel industry. That's her mission. So this is the kind of things that are going to come off the back of this summit. And I just think it's so exciting. The ripple effect of these 2 days will go on for years.
For me, it was Russell today. And one of the things he was, it was kind of a little bit of a, not exactly what he was saying, but learning to see before you put on your binoculars. I kind of thought of it in more on the lines of learn to see before you put on your magnifying glass. And it's so easy to come here and see everything or go on all these tours and immediately go home and pull out that magnifying glass and be so critical of your team and your space and where you're at in your journey. And I think it's really important sometimes to put that down, walk through the building, appreciate where you've come from first before you figure out what you want to start to change. And I'm lean by doing. We just do it, right? I'm going to go home and I'm going to look at this a little differently, because we have a lot going on already, and adding more on top of that isn't good for the team all the time. So I want to make sure that they take a very calculated approach on how I implement some of these ideas, and just know that you can keep these ideas in your brain. They're not going to go anywhere, and when the time is right, you'll remember. And just like us up on the stage here, anybody that you got that idea from, reach out to them, and they'll just refresh you. And then you'll be off and running at the time that it needs to be delivered.
Okay, guys, over to you. If you can raise your hand high, we've got a couple of mic runners, and let's stand whenever you're given a question, just so that we can see exactly who you are. That would be amazing as well. So who wants to kick us off? It always takes one to break the seal.
Hi, I'm Zen from British Rotterdam. So first of all, thank you guys. Absolutely amazing summit. Question, are you going to do it again next year?
I think that's a question that everybody's asking, especially today. It depends how loud the cheer would be if we said on the count from 3, 2, 1, So 3, 2, 1. Do you want to do it again? 3, 2, 1.
I don't think they want to do
We're going to have to try harder than that. 3, 2, 1. Possibly,
it's not bad, yeah.
On a serious note, I think the need for it is there. I honestly do. There's another 100 people that really should have been here that once they hear about this, they'll want to come next year. So I suppose practically we'll probably have to think about a bigger space. I don't know where a bigger venue is than this in Belfast, but absolutely I think the need is there. I think the need for this information, the energy around lean at the minute, I don't know why, but it's just at an all-time high and it's growing. So there's a pull. We always talk about pull and not push. There's an absolute pull for this type of content, for this information. And there's a need for an in-person physical experience. The videos are good, the podcasts are good, the books are okay, but to actually be here in person, I think is really needed. So possibly, I think we will, yeah.
And I think there's a potential where question as well that we'll meet when the sand settles in the water in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm asking myself the where question, because we've done this in Belfast, Northern Ireland, UK, USA, Europe. You know, as far as I'm concerned, everybody needs this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and this was to come later, but the slide's already up on the screen. So to help gauge that interest, there is a QR code here. And if you can scan that QR code, basically we can take that as a hand up to say, yes, like I'm interested in this happening again. And if you want to see a wee bit of lean in action when you scan the QR code, it's also where you can submit your summit improvement ideas for us as well. So yeah, that's on the screen. That'll be there for the next couple of minutes as well.
Amazing.
How's it going? Over here. My name's Kieran McCabe. I'm from Spectrum, just outside Dungannon. So we have a lean team at the minute, and I know a lot of you have talked about having a lean team, but we haven't really designated any time for them. They're still working very much in production. So if we were to give them 50%, 100% of the time, how would that look? How would their work be structured? And would they delegate that work themselves, or would that come from like a higher place?
Okay, so just to kind of clarify, you have a lean team that's just doing continuous improvement?
Yeah, the lean team would be they have a list of tasks to do continuous improvement. That's just coming from the shop floor.
And this is a new thing that you're implementing, or something you already
This
have?
is from maybe start of the year, yeah.
Okay. And you're looking to, like, what does their day look like, and what does the future look like for you as if you had that team working?
Yeah, so if 100%, so right now they're still involved in production, purchasing, manufacturing. If 100% of their time was continuous improvement, how would that day look for them? How would their work be structured? Would senior management delegate task, control, priority? How would that work?
I mean, the real answer is it depends. I mean, it depends on their skill set, how much support they're getting from the top of the business, and what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. You can definitely transform your business with like tons of speed if you can give them unlimited resources to do away with all the burden. That will definitely move very fast. So the first thing I would say is just go in and look at your product, make sure it flows. What can you do to make it flow? If you're not working on carts, start working on carts or trolleys. If you have people reaching and bending and maneuvering all over the place, find ways to remove that, and then that will help the production flow. Once you start to get the production flow, people will start to buy in on all the other things that you want to bring in. But basically, if their day is basically structured by feedback from the shop floor, I mean, it's how much feedback are you getting from the shop floor? I don't think they're going to get endless amounts initially. Maybe there'll be small things to fix. I think you're going to have to really brainstorm from the top level, like what are the big problems here? And then how are we going to make Kaizen events to fix them?
Can I just ask, how many people do you have in your company, roughly?
There's 160, yeah, 160.
160, and how many people are in the improvement team?
So it's actually two companies. So Spectrum is split into two companies. Spec Fab, Spectrum. We have 2 improvement teams.
Yeah.
4 in Spec Fab, 3 in Spectrum, and then myself. I've just come in there in August, process improvement engineer. So I'm 100% continuous improvement, but the guys are still very much production.
Right. So were they kind of brought on as improvement, but they're kind of being pulled into production?
No. They were always improvement, but the senior management team have created these lean teams this year, but I haven't really delegated any time towards continuous improvement for them.
Yeah, just the way we work it in Sperrin Metal, Decky, Cahill and Louise are full-time improvement. They don't work. Not that they don't work, but...
Well, you know.
You know what I mean? They don't actually, they're not in the process, and we never want them to be in the process. It's improve, full-time, 3 full-time people. So if you're in the lean team, if you're in the improvement team, you improve. You walk in the morning, 8 o'clock, you improve to 5 o'clock in the evening. And I think a company with 160 people could absolutely justify 3 or 4 full-time people in improvement. It's basically like going to the gym. If you want to be really big and really strong and look like Brian McAreevy, you have to go to the gym a lot. You know, how much better do you want your business to be? Like at Seaton Matters, we had 5 full-time people improving for years, like 3 or 4 or 5 years, 5 full-time people. That's all they done was improve. So people come to Seaton Matters and they wonder, how did you do it and what's the secret? There is no secret. It's just focus, absolute focus. And focus is an acronym for, you know, FOCUS, focus, or follow one course until successful. Follow one course until successful. And that is the key. If there's one takeaway from this whole 2 days, it's absolute focus. We focus on improvement. We focus. There's nothing in our head on improving the process of how we make pallet racking, improving the process of how we make chairs. So it seems like those guys really need to just be improvement and nothing else.
No, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the Briner Company and on behalf of a newbie, there's several of us that are new to the concept. I would like to let you guys know that I respect the concept of this summit. This is off the cuff. It's not necessarily a question, it's a statement. And I appreciate being in this moment and understanding that I have the room to grow and improve, not only for myself, but for my company back home, but just hopefully with the people that I will encounter. And this actually was very, very enlightening, and I really do appreciate all the time and your expertise and where you guys come from. I feel it. I respect Ireland with all my heart, and I appreciate you guys, not only Ireland or just everyone in this room, because I feel that you guys have this passion for wanting to give, and I feel it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I want to take I'm really grateful for that. It means a lot. I want to draw your attention to the 10 cards. Yet again, I've had so many one-to-one conversations with people in the room about this concept. The best thing you will do to get good at lean is to open your doors for lean tours. And it's never too early. You guys agree with me on that?
We hosted a company that was just south of us, and we were maybe a month into lean at that point. And we're like, yeah, come on down. And they learned a ton, because you can learn anywhere, even from non-lean businesses.
Like, Ryan, I'm going to cast your mind back to my first 2-second lean company. And do you remember, I was about 3 months in when I asked you down to see it?
Yeah, it was a mess, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know.
And for anybody that's going to Sperrin Metal tomorrow, like, don't be expecting anything good, because we're only 12 weeks in. The place we're obviously not there yet, but there is learning. As you say, Brian, there absolutely is learning, even at that early stage.
That's the point I'm trying to make. anybody who's, like, and I've met quite a few people who've just had one tour, and the penny has dropped. That's the penny, Ryan. Brian, that's the penny. The penny's dropped that the hosting company gets the most from that event. Because if you've had anybody come and visit the company, and this is early stage, Lean, we've just done it with Gemba Docs, everybody's game is lifted. And if you're doing that every month, every time, we're going to lift our game. And it's a way of sustaining your lean and driving it for yourself before you start getting altruistic about it, and now we're going to give back to the community. And it's how we're going to grow this thing. So we've taken 15 countries, 123 organizations. If we can just get a 20% of you to go home and add yourself, take the QR code from the tent card and add your name to it, or make a commitment, we're going to do that by January 2026. This thing will explode. So I want to really, really, really highlight, if you're grateful for us for putting this event on, show it by doing that. That's actual action gratefulness. So do you guys want to add anything to that? Or am I preaching? And Prophet Tom again is Matt's christened me.
No, I think it's worth saying. We've came here, we've spent 2 full days together, we've travelled, you have travelled from all over the world. And normally at these things, there's a big sale at the end where somebody gets up and you have to sign up for this program or sign up for. There's no sale here. Nobody's trying to sell you anything. We just want you to go back to your company and get excited about lean. And there's no sale, but there is an ask. And the ask, and it's something I've been thinking about just today. The ask is that you reach out to 3 companies, just 3. Think of 3 companies in your local area. It might be a friend that has a business, somebody in the same industrial estate, somebody that maybe it's a customer, maybe it's a supplier, and just invite them for a tour. There's no push, just call in, cup of tea, walk around, we'll show you what we're doing. Because the more people we can get into this, the better. And as Tom says, this community will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So just keep paying it forward. That is the ask, is to pay it forward without asking for anything in return.
Yeah, and sorry, Brian, I know you can't even see where I am. You don't know where I am. You just hear the voice. Here I am. I actually would love to just take like a moment, because we consume a lot of content, whether it's online or in person. And there's a quote I love. It says, if you consume a piece of content, even if it's educational content, and you don't take action afterwards, you have not been educated, you've been entertained. And so I'd love to take, I'm going to say 60 seconds for you to take out a notebook, take out a pen, take out a phone, and write down the 3 companies that you are going to invite. And the time starts now. Now we'll jump. I think there's a question over here, isn't there, Tierney?
Hey, Ryan, I think we should skip that next slide. I put in about the call to action and the membership, so didn't know we weren't charging here. I did want to say real quick, just to follow up on this, one thing that you can do to show respect for the people that are giving is don't waste it. We're putting time, effort, energy, and our resources to be here and teach. And when you go home and you don't do anything with it, that's being disrespectful to those that are. So just think of it in that way. It brings a little more accountability to you, that when you go home, if you don't implement these ideas, you're disrespecting the people that gave them to you.
Yeah, Ryan, I think a lot of us in this room have learned to see waste differently because of you and your influence, whether that's in systems and in processes, even how we think about work. I think sometimes the hardest place to spot waste isn't on the floor or maybe in the flow, it's in ourselves. So a question I'm curious about, you've helped so many teams see waste in their systems. What's one kind of waste you've seen in leaders themselves that we don't talk about enough?
Yeah, good question. I think, so we can all see the physical waste, and we've talked about that for the last 2 days, but personal waste is actually really easy to identify, right? So if we talk about value and non-value, so value is when we're physically changing the product or when we're learning. Non-value is the transportation, the waste, the motion, the overprocessing. So if you think about value personally is anything that gives you energy, and non-value is anything that takes away your energy. So coming to an event like this, value or non-value? Anybody? Value. Having a really good morning meeting at your company, value or non-value? Dealing with a difficult customer and they're always complaining and you just don't want to answer the phone because you know they're going to be complaining about something, value or non-value?
Non-value.
So value is any time that you're feeling good. So the whole goal is the way we see physical waste, it's that same thing with identifying personal waste and saying, did that experience make me feel good or did it make me feel bad? And you can even do this with people. You probably all have people in your company that once you walk through the door, you're like, I wish it was somebody else. Honestly, we do all have those people, and you don't have to shout out who it is. But there's people who lift us up, and there's people who drain our energy. So value is when you feel good. Non-value is anything that drags you down, and that's how you know.
Good stuff, thanks.
And I'd like to just add to that a little bit. We were at the Lean Cluster NI event a few weeks ago, and we had Caroline McKenna, is that the lady's name? And I'm really into my meditation. I've been a strong meditator for 10 years. It's taken a long time to get that practice going. And she introduced me to the concept of value thinking and non-value thinking. And if you become more aware of where you're putting your energy and how you're thinking about it, and am I adding value having this thought right now? It's not even an action-based thing. Like I wrote, my book's called Improvement Starts With I always joke about starting one improvement starts within. And it's really starting in here. Like, am I having a beautiful thought? Is this a thought I'm proud of? Or is this a thought that really isn't adding anything for me? So that's something I've been working on myself recently.
Hey folks, we're talking a lot about business and what we do within the business. Have any of you really sat down and looked at how it affects your personal life and how lean fits into your personal life? Do you see the effect that it has or how you transfer it when you go home?
So I'll say this. I did it as a culture experiment. I 3S'd my pantry, like initially, once we started doing lean. And then I took a picture of it 2 weeks later just to show what having no culture does to a system if no one wants to buy into it. So with that being said, my family does not want to buy into it, so I don't try to force it on them. I will tell you one area that lean has transformed how I look at my home life. I'm a better listener. You learn to listen to be a really good lean leader, and it actually works really well with your spouse. Surprise. So listening more, talking less, just being willing to just say nothing. And that's something that I learned through my business that has definitely affected my home life. I also look at the time that I have at home a little more valuably, as in, it's not always there. I'm spending a lot of time at the business. I'm spending 12 hours a day. I have a lot of fun. I go home, a lot of times I'm emotionally drained from the day, and I still have to put on dad face. And I don't want to let my family down. So there's definitely a feeling like now I don't want to let my team down at work. And when I get home, I don't want to let my team down at home. And when I show up here, I don't want to let you guys down either. So it's definitely like understanding yourself and where you can give and how you can give, and then making sure that you're doing it the best all the time. And sometimes that means if you're in a really shitty mood, you're going to have to fake it. And that's okay. Because if you just have a good idea, it's like, you know what, I'm fine. Everything can be fine.
Yep, so my view is similar to Brian. My home, for example, everybody always asks, so what's your home like? Is it all like organized and have you guys on foam for your toothbrush? And I do. Yeah. but it's not to the extent of seating matters or the company. It's not. It's never going to be, and I don't want it to be. Because value, back to your question, value at home is when I'm sitting playing with the kids or watching a movie or, relaxing. Value isn't, all the knives in the drawer don't have to be perfect. The socks don't have to be perfectly folded. And sometimes you can take it too far, and that's been really honest. So are we organized at home? Yes, we are. We're very organized. My wife is very organized. Our clothes are organized. We color code our shirts from dark to light. Just normal stuff, nothing like...
Just normal stuff.
Just a dry cleaning Kanban in there.
Just shit.
We've only got Kanbans.
A couple of SOPs in the washing machine.
Okay, maybe, yeah. Maybe I do it more than I think. So there's an element of it that does come home, yeah, but it's not like to the level that some people would expect, I think. Yeah.
Speaking for me personally, I'm pretty much the same person at work as I am at home. And we've a pretty organized house, but that's not the benefit of lean for me. It's like, in my career, I've had long spells where I've worked 60-hour weeks, and I've never switched off. And it's cost me relationships. And I still have issues with that. I still struggle to switch off. I still struggle to not check my phone for the email. But not because I have to anymore, because I've got an amazing team. And I wouldn't have it without Lean. I'm very, very proud of the Gemba Docs team. Most of them are here. And that's what Lean's given me. It's like, I've got a team who know what they're doing. We're well organized. We have a process for pretty much everything. And I don't have to sleep late, and I can switch off and be with my beautiful wife without my mind being somewhere else.
As you get further into your lean journey, it's going to be really hard now. But as you're buying that capacity in the future, eventually you can just go home at 5 and not have to work on weekends, and you don't have, so basically you're calling back time at home, but you just have to remember, like, there's no improvement at work that's more important than your family. And you have to always put the family first in those instances. So when your wife has planned for you to go to a country concert on a Saturday and you wanted to work a half a day and do some improvements, just don't. Just go to the concert. And just make sure that you put your family first and know that on Monday morning you can start that improvement and you're not going to lose any time in between. And if you make it home for dinner, it's better than missing it because you wanted to make some improvement at work.
Thank you.
Okay, question over here.
Hiya. I'll stand up again. So I just want to rewind a bit because I wanted to answer this question.
Can you put your microphone up against your mouth? It's hard for us to hear.
Yeah. The gentleman over here that was talking about improvements and is it beneficial, I really wanted to answer this, and one of the things I've picked up from this seminar, or indeed this summit, is your actual label on there. It says inspire, connect and act, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now with this guy over here. So I'm not a number cruncher. I've explained this to my own company. This is just something that I picked up within Lean, and I've not seen it. I think Paul Akers once touched on it, but I've not seen it documented anywhere or explained any clearer than I'm going to do it right now. So you'll have to do your own maths on this because this will be very important for you. So you've got 160 employees in your company. If every single one of them was engaged every single day, they're doing 2-second improvements every single day. That's 5 minutes a day. It's nothing really, is it? You think of that investment that you're putting out there, a lot of money involved in all those people for half an hour a day, every day. What are you getting back out of it? 5 minutes. Do that over a week, that's 26 hours. Do that over a year, that's 1,700 hours. That's 28 days you've just got back. That's for 2 seconds. You think if that one person came up with that brilliant idea and goes, actually, I've just done an hour's improvement today. Think of that. And every one of those improvements, they continue every day. So they've made one improvement today, they're going to do a different one tomorrow. So that 28 days is going to soon be 56. It's going to be 200. It's going to continue and continue and continue. We've learnt through our company that we could potentially do anything like a year and a half's work in about 10 months. And that's just from doing 2-second improvements. If you make hours and hours and hours of improvements, like someone in here mentioned, you know, they've cut their workload from moving a product from something like 400 steps down to putting wheels on it and moving it. They haven't got to do that. They've saved themselves hours. So you think of that over a very long period of time, especially 1 year, how much you actually get back from it. That's the benefit of lean right there.
Thank you, sir. Brilliant. Got a question here, and then we're going to do a little time check. And then we'll take it from here. Thanks, Alan.
Thank you, lads. Absolutely awesome 2 days. You should be really proud of what you've achieved. Really, really good. My question's around the public sector. So at Toyota, we have worked with various public sector organisations with mixed results, probably on the more negative side. I'm not sure how many public sector organisations here today. I didn't come across any. Maybe there's some. I don't know. But my question, or what's your thoughts? If you're going to expand this conference next year and beyond, which is fantastic, do you have any ideas on how to involve the public sector more? Because in the UK and Ireland, we need lean in the public sector.
Yeah, well, I agree, we absolutely do. My thinking on it is that exactly like Jane Wilkinson from Kimpton Fitzroy, Jane came across lean long ago, or this type of lean, the real lean, 8 months ago. And Jane wants to be the world leading example of how lean is applied in hospitality, and I believe she will do it. She's going to make her hotel the best in the group. How many hotels in your group? 13 hotels in your group, but thousands across the world. So Jane's going to be the example, the ultimate example of how lean is done in hospitality. And then guess what happens? People start coming to Jane's hotel, and more people come, and more hotels come, and they visit, and they learn, and they learn how lean is applied in that specific area. So my thoughts and my beliefs, and sometimes I visualize these things, and sometimes they actually come true, that someday there'll be somebody sitting in the room, and they could be the quietest person in the room, but they could be in charge of the education board in Northern Ireland, or they could be in charge of one of the biggest councils, or they could be a top person in the NHS. And they'll be sitting in a room like this. They might even be here, I'm not sure. Or they might be at an event, another event that we do. But somebody will see this and it'll click and they'll say, I'm going to be the example. Just like Jane for the hospitality industry. I think somebody's going to come to an event like this or come across the content, and they'll be like you guys. They'll just be hooked and they'll not be able to think any other way. And they will not stop until that happens. So it takes somebody with absolute passion, like the three things, a vision for how lean can be applied in the NHS, for example, unwavering passion, like that will be their life's purpose, that they will never stop until that happens, and then be a good communicator, getting everybody on board. That's my thoughts, and I think that's how we make a bigger impact. It starts with one person.
Mm-hmm. And building on that, we might already have the one person. In our Improvement Starts With I WhatsApp group, we have a guy who you might see him on LinkedIn, Putra Kamaro, and he's in Canada, and he is, oh my life, I can't remember what state he's in charge of. Do you remember, Brian?
Yeah, he's in Ontario. Yeah, he's doing basically 2-second lean and a version of lean through the public sector. And he's very passionate about it, and it's definitely an uphill battle every day for him. I think the hardest part is the changing winds all the time politically. You know, one time they're maybe in favor of it, another time they don't want to hear anything to do with it, and it makes it very hard to sustain anything. And I think that's what Putra's had a lot of traction.
Yeah, he's really developed traction, and what I'm seeing is like Putra had to battle the budgetary process to get like a few $1,000s on Gemba docs, but they've absolutely slaughtered it. And they're really, really I can see him through the posts that he puts into our group, which is so vibrant. Like every week, he's got some kind of milestone event that he's managed to do. So it's just building on what Ryan was saying. It can only ever be pull. And so we already have an exemplar, happens to be in Canada. Maybe next time the summit, we get Putra along and a few of his mates, and it just has to grow from a seed.
It's going to be a really hard one because a lot of the public sector can't share externally. So Putra can't even share the improvements from his team with the rest of the world. So he can't even motivate more people in that public sector to say, oh, I can do this, which kind of stinks. So I don't know. I don't know the best way to do that. It would be awesome if we could be more lean. I mean, I drove 4 hours to Chicago, which is usually a 2.5-hour drive, and we sat in these toll booths and we're like, is this really the only way? Does our government think this is good? I don't know. It's easy to not be lean.
I think we've one more question there. Oh, yep, you're already there. Go ahead.
Okay. Listen, I just want to take this opportunity to thank Ryan in particular, and Tom and Trevor for the invite to be able to speak on behalf of Caris Cancer Care. Any of you who were here last night would have heard my talk. To have this exposure for a small charity has been unbelievable. And I was at the Adman Shade talk there, and they talked about how do you make people grow, and it was about getting people to get up at their morning meetings and how it really stretched them. Well, flip me, I can tell you, I've never stood in front of so many people before, so thanks very, very much for that. Thanks to every single person that donated last night. And as I told you all, I'm looking for a second date, and I want to go out and visit and talk to some of your teams. There was one question around that. Is there any possibility, for people to contact each other? Is there a delegate list or even a company list of everybody that has been here to help that be easy, for people?
We're going to be putting out an emailer to everybody, which will have not just a list of some of the resources that you may have got today. Obviously, you'll get links eventually for the videos. But what we'll do is we'll publish a list of all the delegate companies, just so that you can, A, know who else was here, in case you didn't connect, and you can reach out to them directly. We're not going to put, obviously, contact info on, but you'll at least know the company, and you can go and have a look at how they're doing things as well. Okay.
That's great. Three of you guys, I'd love just to ask one final thing, and that is, could you ask us a question? Between the three of you, could you just come up with an idea to ask to the room? And I'd love just to give 2-3 minutes for each table to, discuss and come up with an answer for your question. Maybe just something to leave us all with. I think it'd be nice to have a wee bit of a connect.
Yep, just as you think of your questions, I have a couple of things I want to say. I'll just jump in here and say them. So the first thing is that I want to thank the team from Seat Matters. First of all, where's all the Seat Matters people? All here, yeah. So we're only able, and I'm only able to focus on this new project because of the team at Seat Matters. Jonathan, Martin, my two brothers, are obviously running Seat Matters. Rob, who's the chairman of our board, Rob. So there's more, there's lean, and lean is brilliant, and it's so important. Obviously, we've been talking about it for 2 days, but there's a structure that sits behind that allows all this to be possible. And we have now 10 companies in the group, in the Tierco group, 10 companies. Sperrin Metal was the 10th. We're acquiring new companies, but really the point I want to make is that you need to be, I was in the fortunate position to be able to be freed up because we've got our structure and the way we have our board set up. I was able to be freed up to go to Sperrin Metal. And it's maybe a learning for people in here as well, because there's maybe some things you have to let go to move forward, to drive lean or to drive your business forward. You're maybe clinging on to 2 or 3 or 4 different things, and it's really important to let a few things go to allow you to move forward into new things. So I just want to make that point really clear, that it's because of the structure of our board and the way we have our company set up, and the way Rob has advised us on that, and it's because of Jonathan and Martin and my mother Martina. The structure that we have has allowed me to focus on Sperrin Metal. So just want to give them a shout out for that and thank them very much. And then the second shout out, sorry I'm taking up your question time, I really want to give a shout out to the Sperrin Metal team. Honestly, I know I done it already yesterday, but 3 months ago they didn't know who I was. They didn't know me. We didn't know each other. And now it's like a family. And it's amazing how quick you can connect with people. And I just want to give a massive shout out to everybody at this table from Sperrin Metal for making me feel welcome and being at the foundation of something that's going to impact thousands and millions of people around the world, because Sperrin Metal is going to be the biggest, best lean transformation that the world has ever seen, and this is the very beginning of it. And I'm so fortunate. So thanks to everybody from Sperrin Metal.